listening to Breakfast with Tiffany with your host, Tyffanie Morgan.
That's right, sweet peas. It's me. It's me. Bum. Bum. Well, hello there, my little sweet peas and my little love muffins from all around the big blue world. This is your hostess, Miss Tiffany Morgan, coming to you live from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, the home of Limestone, the home to me, Miss Tiffany Morgan, and it's also home to Pride Month here in Kingston. It's June is Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, Kingston. Happy Pride Month. It's also Indigenous History Month as well. But you know, on this program, I tend to lean towards the towards the Pride stuff for obvious reasons and stuff like that. If you don't know who I am Miss Tiffany Morgan, drag queen extraordinaire, as I say it, here in Kingston, Ontario, and I've been doing I've been performing and doing shows and other stuff here in Kingston for over 20 years now, and I'm only 19 years old. I wonder how that happened. No, I'm teasing. I'm not 19. 29. And I know that joke just doesn't get old. It doesn't get old at all. Goodness sakes, sweepies. I've got a really big program here for you today. Good morning. Yes, exactly. So, if you're joining me for this live recording, I record this live on Wednesdays at noon from my broadcasted on my socials. Exactly. I'll rolling on the floor laughing 29. I know. I can get away with it, right? My beauty. I can get away with it. And hey, good morning. So yes, Breakfast with Tiffany. So we kind of just chat about whatever's going on in my mind at the moment. And what's really going on in my mind at the moment is June Pride Month, and to provide something for the people of Kingston that they can consume online that's very pride worthy, and also getting a little bit of a herstory, as they call it. You know, RuPaul's Drag Race kind of has kind of keyed that word, herstory. So trying to give a little bit of the drag history of Kingston to you. So I'm going to be broadcasting the Kingston Pride Extravaganza 1999 on my Twitch on Wednesday, June the 9th, and Thursday, June the 17th. So, and I'm just let's just be clear here. I am going to be announcing that pretty much every 5 minutes. So, sorry, hashtag sorry, not sorry. But I'm really, really, really pleased to say that I was able to chat with one of the main instigators of that drag show back in 1999, Ms. Jas Morgan. And I'm really, really pleased to have her on this program. So thank you so much for taking your time to jump in and speak with me last night. But first and foremost, I really love this character. She's not a character. She's a living doll and drag queen. I do like her oracle readings. I find that they help make me reassess some of the stuff that's going on in my week, or some of the emotions and stuff. And hey, if that's all it is, that's kind of good too. But I am bringing back to the program. I'm planning on doing this for a little while here, at least, if not forever in a day, because I think she's just fabulous. I think she's a fabulous performer and a fabulous oracle reader, and I would suggest that you check her out. So please welcome Dahlia AnarchKey and our weekly oracle reading.
Hi everyone, my name is Dahlia AnarchKey, and welcome to this weekly oracle card reading. For those of you who don't know me, I am a drag queen, a living doll, and a tarot card reader, and I've decided to combine all of these abilities to provide guidance and entertainment to those of you who seek it. we're going to use my tarot cards to provide a message for the collective of Kingston. So, I'll ask my spirit guides, what is the message that I'm supposed to relay for the people of Kingston? Alright, so the 3 cards that we have are the High Priestess, the Ace of Swords, and the Moon. Alright, so when I look at these 3 cards together, I'm seeing that this week we're being granted clarity on something that we felt in the dark about prior to this week. I see us gaining some sort of new truth or some type of internal knowing about a situation that we've been facing. Something that we've perhaps been in the dark about along our own personal paths and in our journey, and it looks like some sort of new truth is going to be revealed to all of us collectively that allows us to think and to walk our own personal paths. So with the first card that we pulled, we got the High Priestess, and this is a card that talks about an internal knowing. The High Priestess is the wise woman. She is somebody who knows internally with wisdom about what it is she is facing. I see this as us collectively facing some sort of issue as a whole in which we have to choose one thing or the other, and there's something about this choice or this decision that's being made clear to us. So if you look in this depiction of the High Priestess, we have those 2 pillars, one black and one white, and that represents duality, or our ability to choose one thing or the other. With the Ace of Swords that comes after it though, this one is about discernment, separating that one thing from the other, and this thing that we've all been facing, or that you have been facing in your personal life, it looks like that veil is being lifted up, and in reality, you're being given some sort of choice. And sometimes that choice is whether to act or to not act on something. When I see the Ace of Swords here, it looks like a truth is being revealed. Some sort of personal truth or some sort of light is being shed upon the situation that is applicable to you personally in your life. I see this card as a triumph, or in general like justice making its way to be known. I see this as a card of overcoming circumstance and living your own personal truth in spite of what might be going on around you. The last card that we pulled up is the Moon, and the Moon often talks about illusions. It talks about things being unclear or uncertain as we walk along this personal path in life. What's interesting here with the Moon is that, well, the High Priestess is associated with the Moon, and the Moon, it is technically represented by Pisces, but they're both lunar symbols together. And if you look at the depiction of the card, you have, again, 2 towers, the ability to choose between 2 separate situations or 2 separate outcomes. I see this as you carving your own path towards your destiny, because you have this new clarity, you have this new insight, and if you are unclear right now, it looks like things will be made clear. If you look at the dogs in this card, I also see this as us being, it's difficult to explain, like being scared to veer off your path, but it's a positive thing, where these watchdogs are here to bark at you, to make sure that you follow the right path towards what it is that you desire. And in reality, these figurative dogs are nothing to be afraid of. They're just there to make sure that you are guarded along the way and that you don't stray from what it is that you are desiring to accomplish this week as you go along. So that's everything that I'm seeing for us for this week. If you enjoyed this reading, you can find me at my Linktree at linktree/Dahlia AnarchKey. There you can find my PayPal for donations and my various social media links. So until next time, I hope you take care. Bye!
Thank you, Dahlia AnarchKey. Thank you so much. Yes, well, that was quite the reading there, and I just kept thinking, how it can connect collectively to us, and of course this week's harsh truth kind of coming out into the news world of the mass children's grave in Kamloops at the residential school. So it takes a moment. Everyone kind of pauses in their own way to self-reflect on that and how we're going to move forward. I kind of talked about that a bit in the Maple Tea as well, which is a podcast that I do with Rowena Way, another drag queen in town here. We talk about, right now we're talking about Drag Race Down Under, and the importance of reconciliation is a dialogue. Even listening to how people have how they may have done poorly in the past and what they are doing to try to reconcile and move on with that too. That is also important. Hearing from all sides, and then we can come to a reconciliation that way. So I'm still processing some of those emotions about about finding the mass graveyard there. I'm sure you are too, out there. Some rage, some sorrow. It's all part of the process, and it's important to share and talk about it and stuff like that. But up next, speaking about talking to, I had a fabulous interview with my drag mother, Jas Morgan. You're listening to CFRC 101.9 FM here on CFRC.ca and also on my podcast, Breakfast with Tyffanie, on Tyffanie.com. So up next is my interview with Jas Morgan as we talk about the finding of the Kingston Pride Extravaganza 1999 film and the planned screenings of those later this month for Pride Month. So please welcome Jas. Well, hello, sweeties. I'm joined today with my mama, with Jas Morgan. Welcome to Breakfast with Tyffanie.
I am so glad to be here. How are you doing, darling?
I'm doing fabulously. How are you doing, darling?
I'm doing well. I'm getting out of Toronto and heading back home, so I'll be in Kingston for a while, which will be a lot of fun and a big change for the last year and a half. Nice to see family.
Well, it'd be nice to get outside and stuff like that too.
Yes.
My gosh, how has pandemic been treating you then? I know. I think business is doing really well for you.
Business is going really well. It's been a really great year. Way better than I ever expected during a pandemic. Opening in a pandemic. Well, we opened actually just before the pandemic hit. So it changed a lot of stuff and lots of marketing stuff that we had to learn because we weren't solely going to rely on online sales because we were looking at doing local markets and stuff, but all that fell through because everything was closed. So it was like, it was a big shift and a shift in how we were going to do things. But we made it through. We've done our first year, so we were really happy. I'm really happy with it.
JasMorgan.ca, some awesome skincare products there, and I
closed for the month of June, so don't even look.
All right, because she's visiting family. She's taking some time, well-deserved time off.
I took a break for a month, so I haven't seen my family in like almost 2 years. So I just need to get back to open space outside and out of this building for a while. So I'm really looking forward to being home.
Yeah, condos in downtown Toronto, not so fabulous these days when you see them every day.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So Jazz, I just wanted, I found Kingston Pride Extravaganza 1999, which is a fabulous, like kind of film documenting a drag show that you hosted back in 1999. So yeah, I just thought it was awesome. We need to share it with the world. So, can you tell us a little bit about it, like when you were organizing it? Give us some details.
So I just got the privilege actually of watching it again. I haven't seen it since it was done. I think I watched it maybe once after it was recorded. So yeah, it was fascinating to go back 20 years and have a look at what was going on and see some friendly faces in the crowd. It was an amazing time. Kingston was, there were a lot of changes going on in 99 in the area. The bar had changed ownership. There was lots of stuff, which was 477. There was lots of stuff that was changing. We had just came off a amazing summer, actually, or at the beginning of summer, we had did an amazing drag show in the city park, and it was just a really great time to be in Kingston and a great time to be gay in Kingston. So the drag show happened, and I was able to bring my idol of all idols for me, which was Chris Edwards, God rest her soul. So Chris agreed to come to Kingston and do a show with us. I had performed with Chris in Toronto numerous times prior to that. And so that was the first time bringing her to Kingston. And Ricky Raunch, who had lived in Kingston, was also a daughter of mine. So she was also living in Toronto. So she agreed to come home for that. It was just a really, really fun show. We had a really great turnout for it. Looking back on it now, it's kind of funny. I had injured my knee just before the show had happened. So I wasn't even, my doctors didn't want me even on stage doing anything at that point, but the show had to go on. So we kind of cut back on my involvement in it, or my physical involvement in it anyway. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I remember it fondly. Chris had an amazing time. It's just really amazing to see it live again. It's just so weird. It's very weird for me.
Well, I'm glad I was able to facilitate that, getting to see it again. Yeah, it was great to see Chris Edwards, may she rest in power, on stage, and she was, yeah, freaking fabulous there. And it's funny that you're talking about your knee, because that's kind of the first bit that we actually see. Well, first of all, it took a while for the stage lights to go on, but the first performance was supposed to be you, but it ended up being someone else.
Yeah. So a friend of mine, Christine, Christine was always around me. So I said to her, like, you're going to have to do this first number. And it was only like she only had like maybe a day or so to figure it all out. And so I threw her in one of my outfits, and we had her do the opening number. It was amazing just to see her on stage again too. It was really funny to watch, but yeah, so she filled in for me for the opening of the show, and yeah, it was just interesting to see. I forgot all about that actually until it came on, and then I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot that she had did all that.
Well, it was funny. You were totally giving her cues of what to do on microphone.
She knew that song, I think, better than I did anyway. She certainly knew all the moves to most of it anyway. It was pretty funny. But it was fun to watch. It was just brought back so many memories.
Well, it was nice to see the audience, because it did pan into the audience, and I just remember the way you used to perform. You were definitely out in the audience and interacting with them. They were really, really like awesome audience that night.
Yeah, they were amazing. Kingston, I always had a really great audience with Kingston. I had a lot of fun with them. I was probably known more for, hosting and comedy kind of stuff more than anything. That was kind of my gig. So yeah, I always made sure that I was with the audience, spent the night with the audience, just was really involved with them during the entire show, and kind of left the performance stuff for other people to kind of shine in their own light. So that was always my style anyway.
Awesome. Yeah, there was quite a few performers. So Chris Edwards, like your idol at the time, you could tell you had some really great rapport with Chris then. And actually, could you tell us a little bit about that, like bringing Chris
Chris
down
and
to
I,
Kingston?
yeah, so Chris and I met just shortly after Chris had moved to Toronto from Florida. When she worked at La Cache here in Toronto. We had met then and just kind of clicked. And we remained friends. Oh God, we were friends for at least 30 plus years. So the sudden loss of her a few years ago was just horrific for all of us. But yeah, Chris was an amazing person. She was an amazing performer. She really went out of her way to. I think that's why Chris and I clicked a lot. Chris was very involved with her audience as well. And then when I had moved to Toronto, I had the privilege of spending 8 years on stage with Chris, 3 nights a week, and that was pretty much the highlight of my career. Every time I visited Toronto, I would do a couple of numbers in one of her shows here. But I never really dreamt of, it'd be her and I on stage. And so after I moved here and that, became a possibility and I was hired by Play, it was just an amazing time to spend that much time with Chris and be on stage with her 3 nights a week and just really be part of, sharing her life every day. And I mean, we were friends on stage, we were friends off stage, we fought over the same boys, we argued over, the same nonsense as best friends would do. So it was horrible to lose her, but it was amazing now to look back. And it was kind of sad too, watching it, just knowing that she wasn't here anymore. And yeah, it was pretty emotional at times, but it was just great to watch the whole show. The other exciting thing about that too was this was the first drag show that Kingston had female drag artists in the show. So the Men in Black appear on the show as well, which was a group of lesbian women at that time who put their number together and they performed in the show, and it's amazing to see them. And then that brought back memories too, because I remember the modeling agency I was working for at that time, they did an incredible photo, which is the photo that's on your advertisement now, of me and the Men in Black. And just to find that photo again and to have all the memories of them and, being out at the photo shoot, getting all that done, it was just incredible. And they did an amazing performance in that show. So it was just really, really cool to see that all over again.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that advertising. I think there's some more advertising coming my way too, the original stuff.
Jason from Creative Thunder. Jason's been with me since day one too. So I don't know how many years I've been in this business, 35, 40 years, I think by now. I don't know how long it is. But yeah, Jason's been with me from day one too. So Jason has done all of my photo work, all of my poster work, all of the advertising for Jas Morgan. He still does stuff occasionally for Jas Morgan Studio as well now. So yeah, Jason's been with me a long time. So Jason has thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures of me and promo materials from back in the day and back when the show was called Don't Tell Mama. That was the original name of my show. So yeah, it's pretty amazing to see the artwork that he pulled out from his archives that he had from back in that period as well. He has many more than just that one poster. He's done thousands of posters for me over the years. So it was amazing to see all those resurface again.
So your original show here in Kingston was called Don't Tell Mom?
Was called Don't Tell Mama, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm learning new things.
And now isn't there a tattoo shop there now called Don't Tell Mama? I think so.
Yes, there is.
Which was Rob, who was actually my tattoo artist. And Rob did work for me. So it's kind of weird that he named his shop that too. Nothing to do with me, but it just happened to come out that way. So it's pretty weird to see that.
Well, I'm just.
And then also in that show, Chuck Isco, who was DJ Color back then. Mm-hmm. Chuck is still in Kingston. So Chuck worked with me from day one too. So he was my DJ. So even when the show traveled out of Kingston, Chuck traveled with us. So he always did our sound for us and knocked visuals in Kingston, always did the lighting no matter where we went or where we moved the show, whether we were outside or inside or Kingston, Ottawa, wherever, they also went with us. So Yeah, it was amazing. A lot of people don't know that. There was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happened for those shows. People think, people just, put on their drag face and show up. And back then it wasn't like that. There was a whole crew behind the scenes always doing stuff, from lighting and sound and recording stuff. And we had a member of our community who used to work at, I believe it was CKW, not CKW, one of the country radio station. I can't remember what their handle was now. But he used to pre-record all of the vocals, like the opening of the show and stuff.
Oh.
So like welcome to the show and all of that. So he worked at the radio station. So he used to do the intros to all of the show, welcoming me to the stage when the show would open. He would remind people, not to take flash photography and all that, and welcome, like the whole intro to the show. He would pre-record all of those for us. In our intermissions, he would record all the break stuff for that we were going to intermission and that the show was going to restart. And yeah, so I mean, the behind the scenes was incredible. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of expertise in sound, a lot of expertise in lighting. Back then too, we were doing stuff on stage that nobody had done before in terms of with lighting. So I know that, he used to make it rain on stage for us and snow on stage for us, all done with lighting. It was absolutely amazing. A lot of scrim screen, I think it's called, where you weren't on stage, but you could just totally disappear on stage as well. There was a lot of stuff done. Unfortunately, it doesn't show in all of this show, but yeah, there was a lot of behind stage that people didn't realize.
Well, it was really nice to see you brought people at the end of the program. You brought people out from behind the stage, even some reluctantly. You brought out sort of thing. So that was very pleasant. And yes, I can tell you that it takes a lot of work and effort.
Yeah.
To put those shows together. Yeah, it's not.
I was always blessed. Like from day one, I always had an assistant behind stage with me who helped me keep the stage show going and everything on time. I had a dresser who always made sure I was dressed and ready to go on time. There's a lot of backstage work and things that were being done then. We were being very innovative at that time too. In terms of all of that, because it just wasn't happening. I mean, even coming to Toronto and watching shows here, our stages in Kingston were much more elaborate. Unfortunately, the bar stuff was the shows to see really, but.
Yeah, you're giving me some thoughts here now too, and some memories, because I remember when I first started doing drag. It was at Club 477, and we had a huge room all to ourselves, and there was people who I know as friends who I thought were just hanging out, but they were probably there because they were helping me with my wig and my makeup, and I was like, "What's this all about?"
Yeah.
And now it's all kind of tying back in my memory.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. So the program is airing twice. Online on Twitch, so if you want to interact with others who are watching, who are chatting away and stuff like that, make sure to create a profile on Twitch, and also make sure to follow Tyffanie Morgan on Twitch there, and it will be broadcasting on there on Wednesday, June the 9th, and on Thursday, June the 17th for Pride Month. Happy Pride, Jas.
Happy Pride Kingston. I'm going to be in Kingston. Unfortunately, with COVID, I won't be able to see any of you, but I hope you have a really great Pride. I hope you turn into all of the online events, and happy Pride.
Yes, and we hope to maybe see a glimpse of you somewhere. So
you hope? Sorry?
Maybe we'll get to see a little glimpse of you at some point.
Oh, I'm sure we'll make an appearance somewhere or the other. We'll figure that out. But.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here on CFRC 101.9 FM, Breakfast with Tyffanie. You've been listening to Jas Morgan. Thank you, Jas. Thank you, Mama.
Thank you. Take care, sweetie.
Bye-bye. So thank you so much, Jas, for joining me for that podcast, so that little interview ahead of time. We're going to cut that out of the podcast. But I'm running out of time here, so just as a recap, it will be streaming on Twitch. Please join Tyffanie Morgan on Twitch. So that's Wednesday, June the 9th at 7 p.m. And then the second screening is Thursday, June the 17th at 8 p.m. And you can find those on Twitch. Just search Tyffanie Morgan, Tyffanie. And Sweet Peas, happy Pride Month. You've been listening to C4C. You stay safe now. Bye-bye. Mwah.